congratulations to Chris and John then.
That's right.
Being some X2s making the top 8 of the tournament. So that's pretty insane.
So we're underway here with the quarterfinals of the StarCityGames.com Legacy Open live from Baltimore. Cedric Phillips in the booth, joined by me, Joey Pasco, and forked bolt on turn 1 for the turn 1 Mother of Runes.
You have to keep Mother of Runes off the board in this matchup. Mother of Runes is just this annoying thing that makes it the lightning bolts can't kill anything, and all that other stuff is Wasteland's going to take care of that volcanic on another Mother of Runes. So Chris is going to want to get that one dead too if he can.
Polluted Delta from Chris. Going to try to find a way to answer that second Mother.
He's going to get a Tropical Island, so this means he's probably got no Mongoose or some sort of a Ponder or Brainstorm type effect.
Considering he didn't get a red source, I imagine he does not have a Bolt available, but he's going to Ponder here. Finds Daze, red source, Wasteland. It's a Volcanic Island and then Wasteland, so looks like he's going to go ahead and shuffle. Doesn't really want any of those cards here. In fact, I think he would love to just have a burn spell as soon as possible.
Death and Tax is a deck that's really been picking up a lot in Legacy. Again, when the Danish crew of Thomas and Volson and Michael Bunde came here, qualified for the Invitational in Somerset last month, they did really, really well in the Legacy portion of that tournament, putting together I think it was like 14 or 15 2-1 record. And they just really had a fantastic tournament. They really put this deck on the map as it not being a fluke to see Thalia Guardian of Thraben there from Cowley that can be protected by Mother of Runes. And now it's just really starting to pick up. That weekend as well, Gerard Fabiano, he did win with Bullet Red Delver Blade, but he beat Death and Taxes in the finals. And now you see this weekend that there are 2 Death and Taxes decks in the top 8, and one of them is the number 1 seed, and the other one is the number 2 seed.
Yeah, that's something right there. Death and Taxes in both the first and second place. So a Tarmogoyf is the play from Chris Pikula to answer, quote-unquote answer, the Thalia and Mother of Runes on the other side of the table. It can be quite the formidable threat. It is a 3/4 right now, about average size for a Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, not big enough to fade a Dismember, though, which is going to cost 2 mana because of Thalia. Dismember is going to take care of that Tarmogoyf, going to give it -5/-5. And Pikula can't actually counterspell this with Force One or anything because Thalia's in play. He doesn't have a mana to pay for anything.
So Thalia in for 2.
Might be wondering why Mother of Runes is hanging back, could get in for a free point of damage, but Mother of Runes is just going to make it so that any removal spells that Pikula has are never ever going to do anything. So Mother is always just going to sit there, basically like an enchantment.
Yep.
You know, just at any point, you know, just give protection to my guy so you can't kill it. You know, the other thing that it can do, of course, is if Pikula does play like a card like a Tarmogoyf again, he can give Thalia protection from green and start forcing through damage too. So Mother of Runes, back in the day, a lot of people talked about it as being one of the best 1-drops ever. And, you know, the 1-drops have been pretty good over the course of Magic history, but it still lines up pretty well.
It certainly does, seeing play in Legacy with the big boys. So Polluted Delta is the play from Pikula, and he is considering playing, I believe, a Delver of Secrets.
He's in a difficult situation here. It's really fun because Death and Taxes is this, it's a very, like, it's not overpowered. It's a very fair deck. You know, nothing that it does is busted whatsoever, but the combination of cards, it always just makes things very difficult on the opponent. It's just like a lot of little annoyances and pests. You got your Thalia, your Mother of Runes, I can't kill anything. Croc is bouncing my Legend, Rashad Port messing with my mana. You're such a pest. I hate playing against you. It doesn't do anything that's broken. Not show and tell deck or anything. By the way, it can't ever lose that deck for the most part. But you know, it's not this busted deck that does anything broken, but the combination of cards ends up working out way better than I think people have expected.
So Delver of Secrets is the play from Pikula. He passes back to Cowley, who draws, swings in with Thalia and connects, passes back, and uses Rashad Port to tap down the Tropical Island on Chris's side of the board. So here, during Chris's draw step, he's going to reveal Ponder, flip that Insectile Aberration.
It's actually a pretty important reveal there, too. Being able to flip that thing and start to get to work in the air is actually pretty important right now.
Scalding Tarn, the land drop from Chris, and he's going to immediately crack it and fetch up a land here.
He's going past Tropical Island, so it looks like he's going straight for Volcanic right now.
Yeah, Trop is his only green source in play at the moment, but he still does have that Polluted Delta that can fetch one if he needs it. So for the moment, he's got access to blue or red, as Insectile Aberration connects for 3, And a Ponder for 2 mana
Yeah.
due to that Thalia is currently resolving. He sees Brainstorm, Tarmogoyf, Wasteland. Wasteland can get him out from under that port, but I don't really think he's that concerned about the port at the moment.
I think at this point he's got a Tarmogoyf. He's looking at Tarmogoyf, Wasteland, Brainstorm. Tarmogoyf being the most important of those cards, so Ponder's going to happen. He's going to take that. He's got 4 lands, which is obviously a lot for Rug Delver to have into play, but he can work his way around these annoyances quite well.
And you can see the strategy, the way the Death and Taxes deck can work, where it says your cards cost 1 more, and also I'm going to be tapping one of your lands every turn, and also when I draw Wastelands, I'm going to Wasteland at every opportunity, so I'm going to choke you on mana as much as I can. So you can see Thalia there crashing into the red zone, and a post-combat Mirren Crusader is the play from Travis Cowley, and Chris has a response for that. Now, he fetches up that tropical island off of the polluted delta. Theoretically, this is going to be something like Force of Will, which he will have to pay 1 for, or Daze, which he will have to pay 1 for as well. So there it is. It is Force of Will, removing Ponder.
I like this play because the Crusader does a nice job of making Tarmogoyf relevant, can push damage through it, or can make it so that it can't attack. So I think that that's an appropriate use of Force of Will. It looks like we're going to see a Phyrexian Revoker, Cowley's last card.
What do you name with Phyrexian Revoker against Rug Delver?
Is
there really anything?
You can't name a land, so you can't try to Mize naming a as he points to the
Mother of Runes if you'd like.
He can't name a land, so you can't try to spike a fetch land or spike a wasteland.
Right.
So as a result, there's basically nothing to name in the matchup actually.
Right.
Even after sideboard, there's nothing to name. As there's Tarmogoyf, and now here's a Delver. So
he names Thragtusk. I love it. I love it. Travis Cowley with a little sense of humor.
Yeah.
So, Insectile Aberration crashes in for 3. A partner comes down in the form of Delver of Secrets and another big buddy, Tarmogoyf. So, Chris Pikula loading the board with threats. We're counting up the card types in the graveyard, I think, here to get the Tarmo die onto the table so that we can all keep track of Tarmogoyf together.
This is an instant sorcery, creature, or land. I was curious if there's an artifact or anything over there on the Pikula side, but
it's likely a 4/5.
At least a 4/5.
Yeah. Well, those are the easy 4 lands because of fetch lands, instants and sorceries because, well, ponders and brainstorms and cards like that. And we already know Chris has destroyed some creatures or countered them, so...
It's a nice draw off the top there for Cowley. Finds a Stoneforge Mystic to search for a Batter Skull. Or is he going to get something else?
He certainly looked like he was going for the Batter Skull. Apparently thinking differently here.
In his main deck, he has a Batter Skull and Umezawa Shite. So, those are his 2 options. I think Batter Skull being the better of the 2 right now. I mean, Rug Delver does have a very difficult time with Batter Skull when it does get on the table. So
he goes for Batter Skull. It's funny, he moved Aether Vial to the front as if that were something he could even target.
More for anything that he wants right now.
Right.
We're past Aether Vial land. Alright, so we will see. I mean, that's the only card he has is Batter Skull. He's going to port on the upkeep, see if he wants to tap a red or a green source. Doesn't really matter all that much, as we're going to check for Delver of Secrets. It's a land. So Fluttershrine is going to come into play. So we do have a quick update for you guys. Between the Chris Hawker and Robert Lipinski mask, Chris is up a game with Miracles over Punishing Jun, and Timur versus Mark. Timur Babakol versus Mark Rankin. Charles Bug versus Rug Delver. Charles Bug up a game.
That's right, as you suspected.
I'm getting lucky.
Yeah,
getting lucky.
Totally lucky. All right, so Travis taps 2 mana, plays Batter Skull off of that Stoneforge Mystic.
Puts it in right away.
Getting pretty crazy over there. So much these guys are overflowing the table. That tapped creature up at the top is a Stoneforge Mystic, as you can kind of see in this particular camera angle.
And it looks like to me that this is a lethal attack with Cowley at 6, and Chris goes, that it?
A little cheer.
Is that going to do it? Do you have a swords? And Cowley goes, unfortunately I don't. And for Chris on that last turn, he had to actually flip. He had to flip Delver Secrets into Insectile Aberration, or Batter Skull starts to take over that game. So it was actually important that it was that turn, and the life thing starts happening, and then the game ends.
Saw the fist pumps.
That's
so,
right.
Very very important important time for that Delver to flip.
That's a good flip. I mean, there's got so many spells in the deck, 30 of them, by the way,
Yeah.
to flip that thing. So it's
still
not out of the question.
Sure.
Trivia time.
Trivia time.
I got the question. You got the rules.
I got the rules. All
Cool.
right, sounds good. So, if you're just tuning in to SCG Live for the first time and have missed our previous giveaways, we are going to give away access to StarCityGames.com Premium. Right now, we're going to give away 3 months.
Yep.
I'm going to ask you guys a trivia question. You answer the question on Twitter using the hashtag SCG Premium, which you can kind of see down there.
Right down yonder.
Right down there. So you write the answer, include that hashtag. If it's the correct answer, you are in the running to potentially be chosen at random for 3 months of premium.
Anybody
And if
can
you
win.
stick around, we'll be giving away 6 months, and that's in the semifinals.
Correct.
And then a little while later than that, a whole year. So that's how it works. You've got the question.
I do.
Go for it.
Chris Pikula's deck, among his 30 spells, one of them he has as a singleton copy. We saw him cast it in that game, if you remember, on turn number 1. So if you can name that single one among his 30 spells, tweet your answer, hashtag SCG Premium. Again, we will be drawing the winner at the conclusion of our quarterfinal match. We will select one person from the group of people who do get it correct. So again, it's about accuracy, not speed.
That's right.
And again, we'll announce the winner at the end of our quarterfinals. So an easy question to start, I feel.
I'll even give him a hint. It's not a black spell, and it's not a white spell.
Wow.
How
Good
about
guy,
that?
Joey. Good guy, Joey. He didn't have to do that,
I
but he
didn't.
did anyway because he cares.
I do. I want you guys to get the right answer.
That's right.
You know.
It's good people. So we'll take a look here in the sideboards here. Pikula is going to be up a game, so we'll go to Cowley's sideboard first since he'll be on the play.
Sounds
One
good.
Relic Progendus, a Sunlance, an Umazawa's Jite, and Enrique Gusari, a Sealed Cleansing, a Lean and Relic Warder, an Oblivion Ring, 2 Enlightened Tutor, 2 Aethersworn Canvas, 2 Rest in Peace, and 2 Cataclysm. The first one that jumps out to me is Sunlance. That one's easy to bring in because it can take down a Delver of Secrets and potentially take down a Tarmogoyf, but I like having a card that can actually just trade for Delver of Secrets right away. I actually like having access to that. Relic, I love.
I love Relic against.
I love Relic.
Yeah, I played with Relic against Rug Delver when I was playing Miracles.
Yep.
And it was a land tax version. It actually re-dukes land tax Miracle
Okay.
deck. Relic seems to destroy Rug Delver if
Yes.
it sits around long enough.
Yep.
If it lands early enough, you just keep removing the graveyard, neuters the Nibble Mongooses, neuters the Tarmogoyfs, and it just ends up, it draws you a card if you need it. But I love it.
Great card in the sideboard for this matchup. I would 100% be bringing it in if I'm Cowley. Jite, he already has one in his main deck. In this matchup, you'd rather search for Batterskull first before Jite, and then search for Jite after. I don't think you're ever going to need a second one, though. So I'd probably leave that on the bench. Same thing with Enrique Gusari. Don't really need Sealed Cleansing in this matchup. Don't need Relic Warder either. Excuse me. You can make an argument for Oblivion because Tarmogoyf is kind of annoying. But I actually think that this deck is pretty well positioned against Tarmogoyf because it has cards like Mother of Runes and has Batterskull and Mirror Crusader and stuff like that. So you probably don't need the extra help. The Enlightened Tutor package, I don't think you're going to need that either. Canonist, this isn't a combo matchup. Rest in Peace, pretty good for the same reasons that Relic is.
Exactly, yeah.
And then Cataclysm, you're not really against a control deck in
Yeah.
this matchup, so you don't think you're going to need that.
So Sunlance, Relic, Rest in
Rest
Peace.
in Peace, maybe 4 cards. Cards you can board out. Revoker stinks. It's just a 2-1 with no text, so that's an easy 3.
There's 3, right?
Yeah, and then you can figure something else. Figure something else out. Maybe like a Sarah Avenger. Who knows? But you can definitely find another cut. So we'll take a look at Pikula's sideboard on the screen here for you guys. Grafdigger's Cage, Tormod's Crypt, Zoran Orb, Sulfur Elemental. I guess the old white deck. Young Pyromancer, Ancient Grudge, 2 Flusterstorm, 2 Pyroblast, 3 Submerge, and 2 Rough Tumble. Thoughts?
I definitely like the Sulfur Elemental. I mean, that one just it jumps out. In fact, it's just glowing. It's Sulfur Elemental, classic answer to white weenie strategies all the way back to when it was originally printed in Time Spiral block. But he's only got one of those. So looking at I like the young Pyromancer to help kind of gum up the board a little bit, maybe, as he can sort of still fly over with Delvers and keep the ground pounders on the other side at bay. Not sure if that's the greatest plan, but that's something. He's got an Ancient Grudge. We already saw Batterskull. He already saw Stoneforge, and he's obviously already seen Travis's deck list, so Ancient Grudge is coming in. Other than that,
Rough Tumble's going to join.
Rough Tumble.
I think Rough Tumble's going to join. If you look at the creatures that this can kill, assuming the Mother Runes is either not active or dead, We can take care of Stoneforge Mystic. If Revoker is still left, and can take care of that. Thalia can be taken care of. Mirror Crusader. Not Flickrose, because that one flies. It deals 2 damage to non-flyers, which is kind of the fun interaction with this in this deck. And you flip into Insectile Aberration, and then you rough the ground because Tumble goes after the flyers, and Tumble doesn't ever get cast in Legacy.
So Travis Cowley leads with a turn 1 Aether Vial. Chris Pikula with a turn 1 Delver of Secrets. Travis on turn 2 is able to deal with that Delver with a Swords to Plowshares as he ticks up his Vial to 1. And now on Chris's second turn, he leads with a Gitaxian Probe and shows us Travis's hand, which is Plains, Swords to Plowshares, Mirror Crusader, and what does that back card look like to you? Is that a Sunlands? Or am I? No, I don't think that's Sunlands. Was it Mother of Runes, maybe?
It is
I think it was Mother of Runes. Okay.
Okay, so he's just going to vial it in. Okay. So Probe's going to give him the information.
Right.
But yeah, he's going to vial in the mom. And then he has access to other swords this turn, too. So there's actually a lot of things he can do. I don't think that Pikula has a red source, though. Yeah, there's a ponder. I think he might be looking for a red source so he can shoot down mom. There's some fetch lands, so there's the red sources.
And another bolt as well. So unfortunately, Ponder is not Brainstorm, so he can't necessarily grab all those. But it looks like he's got a bolt or a bolt of some sort in hand already. So
the thing is, he has to take this too, because
he has to do it now.
Yeah, he's got to bolt that mother when it comes to play, because you can't let that thing stay around.
All right, so he's gonna have to say, end my turn. Yeah, Mother of Runes gets vialed in. He says, all right, hold on, my Cracker Fetch land and bolt it.
Yeah.
So that is exactly what happens here.
And again, he knows exactly what's in Cowley's hand, so he understands that, he's working with very, very good information. And he's like, yeah, I want to bolt this because you don't really have very much else. You've got a Mirror Crusader, you've got a Plains, and you have a Swords of Plowshares, and I can probably beat Mirror Crusader because he's staring at a Fork Bolt, and he's staring at the one of Fork Bolt in his deck, and there's a Lightning Bolt to take care of the mom. So he's doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, Aether Vial ticks up to 2, and Travis draws a second copy of Aether Vial. He's going to play that out. That resolves.
He's going to want to get vials on 3 and 2. Those are the sweet spots in the matchup. The reason he doesn't hard cast the Mirror Crusader there is he doesn't want to get ran. He does not want to run it in the days when he has vials that are making counter magic insignificant. It's not really a rush to get that Crusader out there.
There's another Ponder from Chris on his turn before he plays a land, and there you see that Rough Tumble. You see a Nimble Mongoose, and you see a Scalding Tarn. He's taking a look at what he's got in the graveyard, what he's got in his hand. Wants to decide whether or not these 3 are keepable, or if he wants to shuffle them away.
I think Nimble Mongoose is actually a pretty good place to start, because now you're just looking for a clock. He's already got 4 cards in the graveyard. Ponder will be the 5th one. Fork Bolt, when that gets cast, will be the 6th one. He's got a Fetch Land, which can be number 7. So we're already looking at a high-powered Nimble Mongoose right now.
Now, of course, as soon as Travis is able to get something in front of it, like a Mirror Crusader, he can put the brakes on it. But if he goes on offense with the Crusader, which of course is what Crusaders probably best or intended to be doing, they could just be in some sort of racing situation. I think that favors Travis, but if Chris has the burn spells, then maybe it favors Chris.
Yeah. See, Chris might play a Wasteland this turn. He's got the cards in his graveyard. There are 5 down there.
So he does keep the top 3 off of that Ponder. He's going to play Wasteland.
It's like Tarmogoyf.
And he's going to play Tarmogoyf, so that's going to be a big body for him to... he's going to gain some life off of that in a second, I think. There's a Swords to Plowshares that everybody knows about. It is a 4/5 Tarmogoyf.
So 3 and 1. Stoneforge Mystic to draw for the turn. I don't think he's going to cast that either, because if he's not going to cast Mirror Crusader, I don't think he's going to cast Stoneforge Mystic. Like, he wants to blank all of the counter magic.
Yeah. So Swords to Plowshares does indeed target that Tarmogoyf. Chris is going to gain 4. And Travis is going to, I believe, pass back here, maybe confirming the size of the Goyf, but it looks like instant sorcery, land, and creature.
And Goyf is exiled too via sword, so
yes.
Not a card for Nimble Mongoose or potential future Goyfs. Rough Tumble, the draw step there for Pikula.
Flooded Strand is the land drop. It looks like we're going to go with that Nimble Mongoose here, I think. Or did he not? He didn't draw the Nimble?
No,
he did draw the Nimble.
That's
what he drew that off the Ponder last turn. Okay. I knew it was in the top 3. I just didn't know which one it was he drew. So Mongoose is the play. Mirror Crusader off of an Aether Vial for Travis.
Exactly what Chris wants to happen there. Draws another Aether Vial to Cowley, so a couple too many of those this game.
And Mirror Crusader is going to enter the red zone. Chris says, sure, I'll take it. Goes to 18. That was just the 4 life he gained off of the Swords to Plowshares. Aether Vial number 3. And yeah, Travis wanted a blank counter magic. He's certainly able to do that here.
Yeah, he's not having any issue with that. The problem is that he's drawing too many Aether Vials right now.
Right.
Looks like Pikula's going to sacrifice the fetch line in his upkeep before he draws his card. He already knew what the top card was going to be via Ponder, so he wants to shuffle things around. Going to search for another Volcanic Island.
I believe it was another fetch land was the third card.
Don't
He
need
was
another
Scalding
one of those.
Tarn.
Believe it or not, does not need another one.
So with 4 lands already in play, yeah, does not want to draw a land. Of course he draws land. Tropical Island off the top. We have a update from one of our other matches.
1 for 1, baby.
Shardless Bug over Rug Delver. Timur Babakol defeats Mark Rankin in 2 games. So Timur on to the semifinals. Our first semifinalist of the day.
It's a very difficult matchup for Rug Delver.
I imagine that's that to be so. Yeah. And we may end up seeing that matchup again if Chris Pikula makes it
To the finals.
into the finals.
Yeah.
So, Mongoose into the red zone, and I believe that is a thresholded Mongoose post Wasteland. And a forked bolt.
Yep.
It's going to take out that Mirren Crusader. So Travis goes to 17. Both players now at 17. And Chris with the clock.
Well, Travis, he can Vial in the Stoneforge Mystic, which is what he's going to do, which allows him to search up the old Batterskull. And there's no Stifle here from Chris, and he doesn't have an instant speed Lightning Bolt to get the Batterskull stranded, so it looks like Batterskull's going to get the opportunity to come into play. And that is going to be difficult here for Pikula. He does have draws to get out of this. He does have Ancient Grudge in his sideboard that he likely boarded in. As you see 3 artifacts on the screen moving, and that will be the 4th one. So I'm sure that Grudge is in there. Karak gets the draw. He's just going to pass back. Unsurprisingly, here's Pikula's going to draw his card for the turn. Draws a Brainstorm. Certainly a good start to the turn. Get 3 cards deeper. Manipulate your deck. Maybe find that Ancient Grudge.
He does have Rough Tumble in his hand, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does have Rough Tumble, but he's just going to be able to put the Batterskull into play like he just did in response to the Brainstorm. So Rough Tumble's not going to do very much. It's basically
not
going
at
to
this
be.
point.
And he did it and the thing I like here from Travis is that he did that in response to the Brainstorm, so he couldn't get stifled.
So Chris resolving a Brainstorm and now needs to find a way to deal with that Batterskull. We know they're in the deck.
There's a Daze, yeah. Get that out of here.
Looks like that is the first card to go back.
I don't know if he has a fetch to clear. Come on back here, Daze.
Changing his mind a little bit.
Yeah, let's take a look at each other. I think that's that red card he's looking at right now. I'm not sure if that's Sulfur Elemental or Grudge or not.
Yeah, I don't think it's Grudge.
Yeah,
it doesn't look. It's hard to tell, but
yeah.
Sulfur Elemental is going to make a big impact if he can stick it. -1/-1 to all the white creatures. Actually, I'm sorry, +1 -1. But the -1 to the toughness is pretty good against something like Mother of Runes.
Yeah, Mother Thalia. It shuts off a lot of cards in the deck, actually.
Yeah.
Flicker Wisp as well. Alright, so Brainstorm is done resolving. And I had a feeling you might see this happen. Yeah, Snap Block and cast Rough Tumble, or cast Rough/Tumble to get that Batterskull off the board. Yep.
So Chris is going to trade his Nimble Mongoose and a Rough Tumble for that Germ token and Stoneforge Mystic. So the Batterskull's going to hang out there.
Yeah, the Batterskull's out there. The thing is that he needs more lands. Does Pikula, does Cowley, which he actually has a 4th land here. Now he can pick up the Batterskull on the end step, and if he peels a 5th land, he can actually recast it. As Delver's going to flip, there's your Daze. And Daze is actually good again now, oddly enough, because if Cowley does peel the 5th land, well, Daze says,
yeah,
counter
you're going to need 6 now.
Yep.
So, Insectile Aberration now in for 3. Gitaxian Probe, the follow-up play. We're going to see what's in your hand. It is Thalia, guarding Thraben from Travis's hand.
It's going to come in now.
You're going to see it vialed in. So Daze is going to cost some mana for Chris if he wants to cast it, but
Sunlance actually an awesome draw here. So like he's going to start by attacking for 2. There's a Sulfur Elemental. Whoopsies!
So it was Sulfur Elemental. There you see it
That's
on the screen.
That's gonna be really hard to. That's gonna be super tough to Caracas that because of split second. like that's not gonna happen. I promise.
Right. It's not just
Yeah.
flash, but it's also split second. That Sulfur Elemental came down so fast,
Yes.
Caracas cannot respond. That is how split second works. As long as it's on the stack, players can't play spells or activated abilities that aren't mana abilities. So the Sunlance, yeah, available to deal with one of the 3/2s. The other 3/2, however, it's going to stick and it's going to take down a creature with it.
He's gonna actually.
A Thalia with it.
I'm a little surprised that he dazed there. Huh.
Well,
That's curious to me why he would daze there. I guess. Okay. So
doesn't want him to pick up the Batterskull?
I guess I'm trying to figure out the thought process behind dazing there. He's gonna play another land and pass the turn back. There's this is land number 5 for sure. Yeah, Canopy.
So Sulfur Elemental bringing the beats alongside Nimble Mongoose now, a new Nimble Mongoose freshly cast last turn,
He's
and
just peeling creatures
Tarmogoyf
off the top. Jeez.
is just both players playing off of the top of the library. Finally, Batterskull returned to Travis's hand, and it's going to put the brakes on things.
Ooh, that was a big draw from Travis. Oh my goodness.
What did he draw?
Rest in peace.
Oh, geez. That's huge.
That was huge.
Chris is going to have to get in for as much as possible here. The Tarmogoyf is summoning sick, and it is a 4/5.
Oh, he's not going to cast the Rest in Peace this turn? Yikes.
He's going for Batterskull.
Yeah, he's going down to 8 to cast Batterskull. If Chris peels Grudge, game's over. Whereas, like, if he plays Rest in Peace this turn, he draws Rough Tumble. I think he has to ship in with everybody again. I think he has to, because like I think he has to make the play that he made a little bit earlier, which is like ship in with everybody and like 2 for 1 himself. Just Tarmogoyf.
So are those life totals correct? I thought Travis is at least at 8. It now should be 4, because he used that Horizon Canopy.
Yeah, he used the Horizon Canopy for mana. Yeah, we'll get it updated for you guys
Yeah.
in just a moment. So there's Rest in Peace. That's going to take care of the entire graveyard, making Tarmogoyf obsolete, making Noah Mongoose a 1/1 for the duration of this game. And we've got a 3/2 Sulfur Elemental. We've got Batterskull staring these bad boys down. Is what we got. In.
So here comes Batterskull. Gonna put Travis back up to 8.
That's part of the reason I really question that Daze play, is because Daze making him pay 1 more mana means that he couldn't pick up the Batterskull that turn, but he was able to pick it up a turn later and then recast it with only 5 mana. He's going to play a 6th land this turn, so the Daze effectively did nothing. I'm not sure if he just wanted that out of his hand for a specific reason or not. But now you're looking at a Tarmogoyf that's going to be an 0/1 for the duration of the game because no more cards are going to go to the graveyard. No Mongoose is never going to get any larger. You see Cowley sacrifice that Horizon Canopy, and we might have to see like a double block here. But if he's double blocking with like the Sulfur Elemental and the No Mongoose, I don't know if that's leading to a victory. And Tarmogoyf's going to block immediately.
Yeah, this is that Batterskull has really, really made an impact, and as you suspect it would, Aether Vial is going to drop a Thalia into play.
Dead.
Thalia immediately dies. Sulfur Elemental still good. Doesn't just give it -1/- or +1/-1 until end of turn.
Yeah,
It's
dead.
just straight up. That's what it gets. That's what white creatures get. But Travis climbing all the way back up to 16 and soon 20 here. Wasteland for one of Chris's volcanic islands.
Yeah, but Cowley's up to 16 now, and Brainstorm is a pretty good start for Chris. But as long as Cowley has mana available for Batterskull, it's going to be really tough to grudge this. He did find his Ancient Grudge, though, so...
It's a long uphill battle for
Yep.
Chris, but he may be able to get back into it. So we're going to find out. Ancient Grudge.
Yeah,
he's
easy.
backed up for a second. Hold on. What's going on here? So Rest in Peace is in play. So everything is exiled as I play it. So Nimble Mongoose is always a 1/1.
Yep. And
Sulfur
Ancient-
Elemental still a 3/2.
Yeah.
That's fine. Tarmogoyf is not so good.
The problem here with Ancient Grudge, he gets to get one use out of that. He does not get to flash it back.
Exactly. That's another big problem, because what makes Ancient Grudge so good is that it's 2 cards. For one, with that flashback, a nice sideboard staple in both Legacy and Standard. If artifacts are a problem, of course, it's much more of a staple in Legacy.
The problem here is, yeah, he can't really pick a good spot to fire it off, because if he fires off now, then Cowley just activates the return ability, and the grudge is gone for good. So like the thought process thing there for Chris was, I'll grudge it now. He'll return it. I'll get him for 4, put him back down to 12, and then if he recasts it, I can flash it back for a green and kill it. And the only way that he could recast it is if he has 8 mana. The problem with that plan is that Rest in Peace is in play.
Right, so he cannot flash it back, and there is only 1 grudge in Chris's sideboard, so he has only access to 1 grudge.
Better pick a good spot.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's actually, he's got 1 copy of Ancient Grudge, but he's almost got half a grudge available at this point. So
it's a glorified shatter.
Yeah. So, fetch land from Chris. Draws his card. It's a wasteland. He's sort of flooded. Plays that wasteland. He's got 6 lands in play. Not something you see very often from a Rug Delver deck.
Yeah, if the Rug Delver deck gets to this point in the game, oftentimes they're losing, or they have a lot of lands. They're not brainstorming and denying your mana, all this stuff. You see, Pikula's going to take a look at Batter Skull. He's probably wondering what the return cost on that is, which is 3 colorless mana, and how many times can you activate it, which is, if he has 6 lands for does Cowley, which he does have in play, he can, if Pikula, he can, basically the thing is he can bounce it twice. Like, if he bounces it, and then Pikula says grudge, it's like, all right, activate it again, return it again.
Right. So. And Travis has no reason to play anything else, because Batterskull's already taken over this game,
Correct.
And so he has no real reason to tap his mana until, something else comes up. So I don't even think I'd play the Mystic into Umezawa's Jite like he's doing right here. I think you just ride the Batterskull until you can't ride the Batterskull anymore, then start, okay, now where I'm at.
I wouldn't tap any more mana. Like, I wouldn't tap any mana on my turn. Like, I would leave up the ability to have the double activation of returning Batterskull to my hand, because that's how I'm going to go about winning this game. Of course, he doesn't have any reason to play any creatures over the course of this game. But now he's going to, oh no. He's going to put GT into play. He's going to
He's just totally overkill here.
Yeah, he's walking himself into like a giant trap, which is to grudge your Batterskull. And that's his best card.
In response to that, Batterskull grudged away. And there you see a reasonable sized misplay from Travis.
Now that grudge should be removed from the game, so that should be put into exile here.
Yes, it is exiled.
Chris will exile it.
As is the Batterskull.
Yeah.
There's a GT on board, and the thing about Sulfur Elemental, though, is its effect on 1/2 white creatures, which then become 2/1s.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it doesn't kill them, and it just made a Stoneforge Mystic actually a little more powerful. Not a huge deal, but I wonder if Travis is considering the fact that he's got actually a 2-power beater there. That I don't know, maybe he's not thinking about it, but I imagine he's going to put the Jeet on it.
The funny thing here too is, like, Chris is looking at a Rough Tumble. Rough would kill his own Soft Elemental, his own Mongoose, and sure, it would kill that Stoneforge Mystic. But the big issue at the end of the day is that Cowley's draw stuff was a Sarah Avenger. So Sarah Avenger right now would get violated at the end of turn. It's a 3/3 base stats, but Soft Elemental is actually going to make it a 4/2. Pikula's life total conveniently being 4 life. So I'm not sure that Chris has a way out of the situation, but Chris also doesn't know that Cowley has Sarah Avenger looming in his hand. So
right.
He doesn't know that he's dead yet. And as you see him go through the iterations of figuring out how to get back into this game, I'm not sure there's a way out to beat just what's on the board, let alone the Sarah Avenger.
Yeah. Yeah, Sarah Avenger. I mean, if Chris has only Rough Tumble here, Travis just vials in the Sarah and wins, and that's it. So, as you sort of mentioned. So, I don't think there's a way out for Chris. Not out of this game, anyway. I mean, here, like you said, if he casts, I guess he's just got to deal with the information that he has available to him, which he's going to wasteland there.
He's going to wasteland Caracas.
He can like swing in for 4 and then Rough Tumble to deal with the 1 creature on board. I think that's probably what I do, not knowing about a Sarah Avenger. That looks like what he's doing here as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't do anything else.
Yeah.
And he's going to Rough Tumble, kill 2 of his own guys, 1 of Travis's, but what's the other card in his hand? Violin Sarah Avenger.
Yeah.
Now Sarah Avenger is a 3/3 because he did kill the Sulfur Elemental, so Chris will have 1 more turn.
Yeah, you equip the GT, get in for 3, put you down to 1. GT has 2 counters, draw a card, pack it in. So
Yeah.
Travis Cowley's going to win game number 2 here. Death and Taxes versus Rug Delver. Pikula's going to be on the play for game number 3. You see a hearty grin as these players do continue on here through our quarterfinals.
Yeah, so do you really think, how different do you think that game goes if he is able to, if he holds back that daze?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
How different do you think that game goes if Pikula holds back that daze, which, you know...
I think it's substantially different, actually. Just because it takes a longer time for that batter skull to get online, get into play. Again, like I understand the idea behind dazing there. It's like if I daze it, then you only have 2 mana left. So like if I peel a grudge, I can just kill it with a grudge. But I think that you're always going to be able to kill it with a grudge at any point anyway. So, you know, if you don't daze and he picks it up, he's sitting on 4 mana. When he draws his 5th land is no good now because he can't hard cast the batter skull into the daze. So what you're basically forcing him to do with that daze, which was off before but on now, because you took care of the Stoneforge Mystic, is you're forcing your opponent to draw running lands, which is like a good spot to be in. Like, what if you just draw another daze? You know, like I think you're in a really good spot if you force your opponent to draw land number 5 and land number 6, because like then you just want them to peel lands instead of like spells, and they need to peel lands instead of spells because you've got most of the spells trumped, or at least some of them shut off via Sulfur Elemental and having a 3/3 Nimble Mongoose. So,
yeah, I think, you know, I'd have to go back and really look at, you know, the subsequent draw steps following that when he actually did cast the daze and try to figure out, okay, what looks like it would have happened for sure. But it does seem to me that Chris would have had that game won at that point, because Travis went all the way down to 4 before getting that batter skull online.
Yep. It took him a little while to get there.
Right, and it would have taken him longer to if Chris had held the daze. That's the kind of the point there, is that he would have had to wait longer for that batter skull, at which point, like, how much more life would he have lost? He already was at 4, and he was facing down Sulfur Elemental, a Thresholded Mongoose, and a Tarmogoyf. Now, he would have found the Rest in Peace in that amount of time, so he would have blanked the Tarmogoyf and shrunk the Nimble Mongoose, but at 4 life, facing down a 3/2 and a 1/1, that if he didn't have anything that could hold those off, then he still would have lost there if he couldn't get the batter skull online.
Yeah. So either way, we're going to move on to a third and final one here between Pikula and Cowley. Rug Delver versus Death and Taxes. One of these is a legacy mainstay in Rug Delver, and the other one, Death and Taxes, is certainly making a name for itself over the past 6 months here, I would say.
So we have another update from the backup match. This is a surprise. You're only 1 for 1 now. That's how you're only
he won?
You're 1 and 1. Yeah. So Robert Lepuski with Punishing Jund defeats Chris Hawker playing Miracles. That is the exact opposite way that you.
That's a pretty big surprise to me.
I mean,
especially when
I'm
they win,
surprised
especially
too.
when Miracles wins game 1.
Yeah. Very, very strange. So Robert wins both post-sideboarded games, and he is on to the semifinals. His opponent is one of these guys.
Yeah.
He's going to either be facing Death and Taxes or Rug Delver.
He really wants to play against Rug Delver. I actually think he wants to play against both these decks like really badly, because Punishing Fire Grove is just awesome against both decks. So I think Lepuski is, you know, watching this match with great interest, saying which one of you guys do I get to destroy?
Shrugging and saying, I don't care which of you guys.
You guys battle out, exhaust your mental energy, trying to figure out who's going to win, because I'm going to crush either one of you guys that I play. And that's what that could be what happens here.
All right, these guys getting all set for Game 3 of the quarterfinals here in Baltimore of the StarCityGames.com Legacy Open. I'm Joey Pasco in the booth with Cedric Phillips, and we're having a blast this weekend.
Hard not to.
Yeah, really. They watch people playing Magic. Magic the Gathering. God, I love this game.
It's okay.
It's all right. You like it?
It's fine.
It's pretty good.
Anything else to do?
My favorite part is the back of the Magic cards. I think they look so awesome, like a cool old book. It's my favorite part of this game.
That's your favorite part? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I refuse to believe
That's
that.
what drew me to this game. I was like, this looks like an old book. Tell me about it. I want to know what this old book card game looks like. Or, you know, what this is all about. Ooh, dragons?
Yeah.
Cool. You know, I remember seeing Shivan Dragon and being like, okay, so that's a really good card. It's a 5/5 flyer. And then somebody showed me Force of Nature. I'm like, that is so much better than Shivan Dragon. Melissa Benson on Shivan Dragon. You know, that's the artist.
Really?
Doug Schuler on Force of Nature. Doug Schuler is a classic. Sarah Angel, veteran bodyguard. I mean,
Are you like good at are you good at trivia too?
I don't know. I never played trivia.
I
I
can't
do.
believe that. You understand? At this moment, I can't believe that's true.
I sometimes play SCG live trivia. Like when I'm watching and maybe I want to win a copy of Next Level Deck Building.
Sure.
Like
sure.
A couple weeks ago, I was like, "Ooh, I want that," and I didn't buy that yet, so I'm going to try to win it, and I didn't win it.
Wow.
Pikula mulliganing to 5 here. The power of the plaid.
Yeah. Well, it's a bad time to take a Mullify, that's for sure.
I don't know. We've seen some mulligans to 5
some
this
mulligan
weekend.
fives do
Charles
pretty well.
L. Johnson III mulligan to 5. We were talking to I was talking to Ruben earlier, and he said he talked to Charles, and I had talked to Charles and heard about it too. I think he said he was 8-1 on mulligans to 5 in the tournament yesterday.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty insane. Mulligan to 5.
If you keep in
The fact that you mulligan to 5 9 times is already kind of crazy.
Normal
But
Mongoose to start. Yeah, well, 8-1 on Mullen 5 is insane. Days that Vial. That could be huge. Depending on how many lands Cowley has.
so, Pikula with the pressure, with the days to keep the vial off the table. Replays that tropical island and is getting in for 1. Follow-up play from Pikula, nothing. He is going to pass. Travis Cowley now going to play a wasteland and deal with that trop. We can see Chris has, I believe, 2 lands.
Use 2 lands in a Brainstorm.
And a Brainstorm. He's going to cast that Brainstorm.
Hit 1, hit 2, hit 3. Force of Will, something. Force of Will kind of, so meh. Kind of stinks.
Yeah, I don't know how much I like it in this match, but, you know, if it keeps more vials off the table, it might be exactly what he wants. Is that another Brainstorm? I believe it is.
Yeah, I think it is. I think he put lands back. Like he put land back.
I think he did as well.
Top
yeah.
one's a polluted delta.
Right, actually, it was a drop.
Second
yeah.
one. Second one's a fetch land.
I guess he figures out he wants both of them, and he doesn't want to have to play the polluted delta and then shuffle away the trop.
Sure. A little surprised they didn't offer the trade there with the Mongoose for the Mother of Runes.
Right.
Because you just want to keep Mom off the table at all costs.
Yeah, I think that trade would have been fine for Chris, but here is a Sarah Avenger.
Yeah, this is the third turn. That's not a thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say we talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
Instead, Thalia is the play, and I think, does Chris want to counter this Thalia?
Yeah, I mean he doesn't want to, but he probably has to.
He's not gonna.
Okay.
So he has other plans for that Thalia apparently.
That Thalia is like the actual nightmare right now. Because like he's stuck on mana because he mulliganed to 5. He was setting up a turn where he goes Brainstorm plus hack the fetch land. Now he can't do that. So now he has to peel another land in his 18 land deck. That Thalia is just like laughably good right now.
So no attacks from Chris, passes back. We get a Caracas from Travis, and now Thalia is on the beatdown plan. There's that Sarah Avenger that we saw last turn.
He's got to force that. He's got to pay a mana to force it too. For Thalia. Yep. I think his thought process is like, I just can't beat Sarah Avenger. I can't beat a 3/3 flyer right now.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it was. Maybe the fact that Travis accidentally tried to play the Sarah Avenger early is what caused Chris to hold back on the Force of Will. So Rishadan Port is the land drop for Travis. Takes a peek at Chris's graveyard. Wants to know how close Threshold is to being attained. 4 cards it looks like in Chris's graveyard. So Thalia is going to bring the beats yet again. Going to knock Chris to 15 here, I believe. Although Chris looks like he's got some sort of response.
Yeah, start by second a fetch land.
Yeah, cracks a Flooded Strand. Finds a Delver Secrets, but is not able to put that one into play.
And sack this one too. This oh okay, I know what this is. This is 100% Sulfur Elemental.
Sulfur Elemental, not...
Got it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Not affected by Thalia. In fact, laughs in Thalia's face.
That's a good card to have right now. Your stuff is dead.
I like how it's like again it just laughs at Caracas as well. Also, haha, Mother of Runes.
Yeah. Just get it all out. Chris giving himself the best chance to win this game on 105. Here's a Stoneforge Mystic. Gotta be a 2-1. Search up for any equipment.
So Stoneforge Mystic, a 2-1, like you said,
Yeah.
not a 1-2. Because of the Sulfur Elemental ability, as you can see, it is a 3-2 itself, but white creatures get +1/-1, so Stoneforge Mystic becomes 2 power, 1 toughness.
There's the Boogeyman. There's Batterskull.
Now, Chris needs to find some way to deal with that Batterskull.
The card he's looking for is Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Bolt will deal with the Stoneforge Mystic just fine.
Fork Bolt also acceptable.
That will work as well. Ancient Grudge, not a bad plan either. And there is a Relic of Progenitus. This card, not as bad perhaps as Rest in Peace, but still bad news for Chris, because every turn he's going to lose at least 1 card, possibly just lose them all in one crack of that Relic.
6 cards in the graveyard right now for Chris.
And unlikely to reach Threshold at this point, because Travis can control it. So he says, go ahead, remove a card. Yeah, Chris gets to take a look. What do I want to remove? I'll remove a land.
The other thing, too, is like he was trying to offer up the trade there, and then Mongoose, hey, you want to get in front of the old Stoneforge? Because you're a 1-2, right? Remember, you're a 1-2? See? You're 1-2. You should fight with me. It's like, it's 2-1, and I'm never blocking ever anyway. Take 1. Not a million billion.
I have an opportunity to kill a Nimble Mongoose. I should do it, right?
Yeah, you should take it. Looks like a Mirror Crusader.
Mirror Crusader is the play from Travis Cowley. So on Travis' side of the board, Mirror Crusader, Relic of Progenitus, Stoneforge Mystic with 2 mana available to drop a Batterskull into play. So Chris now in the tank. His side of the board, Sulfur Elemental and Nimble Mongoose. Sulfur Elemental, it's so good in so many ways, but also kind of hurts. The fact that it pumps their power makes that Mirror Crusader a 3-1 double strike.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem.
It's also kind of awkward right now because like Rough and Tumble is this perfect sideboard card for this deck. When you have a flip Delver, you rough the ground and then your Delver is still in the air, as in Cycle Aberration can still keep giving the beatdowns. But when you don't have the necessary things to make Rough good, like a 3-3 Nimble Mongoose or like a 3-4 Tarmogoyf, then Rough Tumble looks kind of awkward, like in this position where he has a 1-1 Nimble Mongoose and a 3-2 Sulfur Elemental and has Rough Tumble in his hand, which he would really, really like to cast right now. But he knows that if he casts Rough Tumble, he loses everything. Stoneforge Mystic gets activated in response. In comes the Batterskull and probably lights out. Guerrilla Radio.
I like it.
What to do if you're Chris? Not to mention that his draw set for this turn was Forceful, which might as well just be a blank piece of cardboard at this juncture.
Yeah, I mean, your sideboard card, he's drawn his sideboard cards. He's drawn Rough Tumble. Mm-hmm. He's drawn Sulfur Elemental. Problem is, I guess they're just not. You want them to be grand slams against people, and Sulfur Elemental certainly was at the point that he played it. Right now, it's kind of hurting him on one hand, and it's kind of obstructing his play here because he doesn't want to kill it either.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome when he cast it. Like, there's no question about that. The problem here is, like, you saw him reaching for the Sulfur Elemental. Like, he might attack with it. Like, is there a way that I can induce, like, Chris to block where he puts in Batterskull and blocks with that, and then I Rough Tumble everything away? And it's like, no, I don't think that's a thing. Like, I think he's just going to block with the Mirror Crusader. Like, this attack is very dubious, and I'm horribly surprised that he did not block.
So Travis just doesn't block.
Yeah, I'm, like, absolutely shocked that there's no block there.
Sometimes, you read a card like Sulfur Elemental and you're like, okay, yeah, pro white gives a preg. Wait a second, it doesn't say pro white. Like you read it as that, like, oh, it's something. Maybe that's it. I'm just guessing here. Maybe he's also like, I'm at 18.
For me, like, it's even risky to put that Batterskull right there, as opposed to doing it when you have 5 mana available. Because, like, if you do it when there's 2 mana available and Chris just has a grudge, like, he kills your Batterskull and then he also kills your Relic, and it's like a horrible turn for you, that you don't have to open yourself up to that happening. You've seen him, Mongoose is going to get in front of the Batterskull, whereas you could just, like, untap, do whatever you're going to do on your turn, then you have 5 mana available to put in Batterskull, and then if he does have a grudge, you can return it to your hand, you can keep your artifacts. So it's like a small risk, but, like, if he just does have the singleton grudge, he just absolutely ruins you that turn. There's no reason to let him do that when you're doing so well this game.
So Nimble Mongoose goes away as Mirror Crusader crashes into the red zone. Chris down to 9, Travis back up to 18, because not only did Mirror Crusader crash in, but the germ token did as well, and it happens to be holding a Batterskull. So now Chris again facing down Batterskull and unable to really find an easy way out at this point. He's got a Tarmogoyf now, but of course that Relic of Progenitus on the other side of the table is going to have something to say about that. So here comes Sulfur Elemental, and Travis doesn't block again.
Frisky. What do we got here? Rough, maybe? Yeah. I mean, Chris is trying so hard to induce a block. Like, I completely understand the attacks with Sulfur Elemental because they look suspicious, and it's like, just please block already. I need you to block, and he just won't do it.
So there you see Rough Tumble. Rough is the half of the card that Chris cast just there. So it's kind of like a Pyroclasm effect to creatures without flying. So he clears the board of everything except the one card he really wanted off the board, and that's Batterskull. And we have I believe, a Rishadan Port on the table, kind of hanging out under Travis's name up there. And it taps down that Tropical Island. So Chris is going to crack a Flooded Strand and find another Tropical Island. So I think Travis may have missed at least one activation of the Relic. Not that it matters so much, but I think he could have at least removed.
You might as well move
one
something.
more
There's no
card.
reason. There's no reason not to.
And exactly. I think he just missed it at the end of one of Chris's turns, like 2 turns ago. But he did remove everything now, so that's sort of irrelevant as well. Relic of Progenitus.
Yeah, get it all. Kindly leave all of it.
Yeah. And then he's going to follow that up with a Swords to Plowshares, which is essentially free.
Yep. And that is going to do it. Travis Cowley does win this match 2-1, defeats Chris Pikula, who is really good at making top 8s at the Open Series of Golfer, but he has not gotten that trophy yet, no matter how hard he tries. Death and Taxes moving on to
the semifinals.
The semifinals. And we have